I think their energy can feel a little, like, strong, almost like they're bullying you. You know what I mean? And when I think of that energy, I think of somebody, yes, who's emotional, who's trying to kind of push me to feel a certain type of way. And the people at the bottom of the list, they don't give a fuck. They're not trying to push you to feel some type of way, you know?
It's so true. And, like, I'm kind of glad that, like, we're putting Scorpio and Leo next to each other at the top. Yeah. Because both, I feel like I could say that the same thing for Scorpio. Like, super emotional, but, like, you see the craziest sides of Scorpio's emotions when they feel like there's a disbalance in the power dynamic. Yes. And same thing could be said about Leo. Hi, hello, how are you?
Hey.
Okay, so we are done with the introduction.
Right. Getting into the good shit.
Get into the good shit. I have been loving lately because it's happened 3 times now on our TikTok where, clearly on our TikTok, if you don't follow us, we're going to plug it here. Now's a good time to do so.
Do that.
We post some really funny, like, parts of our videos there. And a lot of times I feel like when we have like a compatibility one, people comment on those TikToks that we post talking about their experience in this said compatibility. Like, for example, let's say Aquarius and like Sagittarius. There was this, and it happens often where people talk about like, no, like that's not me and my Sag. Or, right. No, like that's not me and my Cancer. And I'm here for it because at the end of the day, not everything's gonna hit, and there's always exceptions to every rule. Like, same with astrology. We say our opinions. That doesn't mean every single person within that sign is gonna act like that. Totally. Anyway, so a couple times now it's happened where someone makes like a bold statement, and then like a year later, or like 6 months later, they comment and they're like, actually, he cheated on me, or actually, yes. And just recently, it was so funny, one of our old videos, someone commented on a top comment and said, update on this. And the girl replied with an update of what happened in that relationship. And, I'm sitting next to my man and I'm going through our, like, notifications. I'm reading this shit. I'm like, holy shit, that's tea. Like, I just love it. Like, because, yes, that's part of the experience. Yeah. Share your truth. Yes. And I just love that. And it was just so fun. And it made me so happy. I mean, not her getting fucked over, but like happy that like people feel safe enough to share experiences. Like, and it's under our video, so it feels like personal. And I'm just like, also, self-reflection and like to life come experience. Back, because honestly, when you comment on a video, usually you're like, I'm feeling some type of way about this. Yeah. And then to come back and be like, actually, this happened to me. Fuck him. Fuck her. I think it's funny. I love it. And I appreciate the self-reflection. Yes. Yeah. It's like I'm sure it's a full circle moment. Yeah. Maybe the video, they were like, this wasn't me. It didn't resonate. Yeah. And then, like, they fucked you over and you're like, nah, fuck them. I wish I would have listened. Yeah. It's true. It's true. Absolutely. But then, of course, always there's the exceptions, like you said. Yeah, always. But, like, you guys, when you're making any sort of point, when you're talking to someone, like, chances are you're not going to be talking about the exceptions. You're talking about your experience, what you feel, what you're passionate about. Yeah. That's why I hate it. I hate it. I actually tweeted about this. When you make astrology content, and I've seen it for other creators too, other people who make astrology content, no matter what, there's someone in the comments that's like, well, actually, I'm a Cancer, and like that doesn't like apply to me. Like, thank you so much for sharing with the class. Bold of you to think that I made this strictly for you and your life. Right. But like, obviously, there's going to be certain things where it doesn't hit for you. Yeah. And that's okay, because guess what? I'm not a fucking psychic. I don't know what's going to happen in your future, what has happened to you. I don't know everyone's experience. I'm going based off of a pattern that I notice. Right. And at the end of the day, we all have free will. Yeah, we do. And that will change how we react to certain situations. You have full birth charts. Like, there's so much that goes into it. So, like, I hate when people get super particular when it's, like, obviously actually, you didn't read me right. I don't even know you, bitch. I don't know why you act the way you act. It's like, I was speaking very general, high level. Yeah. And actually, you're taking this quite personally, so maybe it does fit. A part of it fits. Right. If you didn't care, you wouldn't say anything. That's me when I don't care. When I don't care, I keep it pushing and I scroll. Right. When I care is when I feel some type of way. Exactly. Yeah. Pause a little. Reflect. Okay, so today we thought it would be really fun because you guys didn't get a astrology video this week, but we decided for the podcast we're going to keep it astrology heavy.
Yes.
And we're going to react to a list, which is y'all's favorite. And this one's good.
It's a good list.
This one's good. It's labeled most to least emotional. I'm going to post it here, the actual graphic, so you guys can have it up and see what we're talking about.
Yes.
It's by the Mind Journal. I found it on Instagram. So we're going to go through this list of most to least emotional zodiac signs, and we're going to give you our opinions, whether we think they're at the right spot. Just kind of go through it and have a little fun.
Feelings.
Yeah.
Yes.
So don't forget to subscribe, and let's get into it. Okay, so most emotional. We're talking number 1.
Who you think it is?
Yes. Well, it was already posted.
I take it.
Pisces.
Yeah.
I could see that. I mean, the water signs some of them were going to be up there.
Yeah, definitely.
But it makes sense why Pisces is the most, because they're that, like, the last sign of the zodiac. So I feel like they get a little bit of everyone's energy.
Yes.
And they're very much, like, tapped into, like, the subconscious in the sense. And I just feel like that's what makes them very, very emotional, is because they truly do experience this life on Earth in a different way.
Yeah.
They're mostly in their fantasy world, which makes them very hypersensitive.
Yeah.
And unable to, like, ground themselves. You know?
No, for sure.
So when you're emotional, I feel like you can be a little bit chaotic and erratic, and you're just not thinking as logically or clearly.
Yeah.
Like when I think of Virgo, their sister sign. Pisces is sister sign.
Right.
This is a sign that is very much logical, thinking about things as they make sense. Pisces doesn't care if it makes sense. They're just here to feel.
Yes.
You know, and they can be very delulu in that sense of, like, I could keep feeling and I could still keep feeling and I can get emotional, and that's just my reality, and you're not going to take me out of it.
Totally. And I actually like that Pisces is first over Cancer, because to me, like, their mutable energy maybe keeps their emotions lingering there longer at times, because they can get lost in it in their Delulu land. And sometimes they're running from it. You know what I mean? And when you're running from it, you're obviously not able to fully, like, indulge and release those feelings. And I feel like Cancer, who is also very emotional, though, will release those feelings sometimes more easily, maybe, than a Piscean at times.
Exactly.
You know?
And Cancer is number 2 on this list, which makes sense. It says Cancer is highly sensitive. Yeah, they're very sensitive.
Yes.
They lead with their emotions, as I've said 100 times. They're, you know, cardinal water. They lead. They're unapologetic when it comes to their emotions. But the reason I feel like they're a tier under Cancer is because they will put their emotions towards a goal, towards something. Yeah. You know what I mean? They want to, like you said, they want to release it in some way. Yeah. Whereas Pisces is running from their emotions. They're not even giving their emotions a chance to catch up with them, to feel them. Yeah. And that makes them a little bit more crazy cuckoo, Pisces. Yeah. Whereas Cancer is also crazy cuckoo, but, like, because they're feeling it, they're able to let it go a little bit sooner.
Yes, because if you ignore an emotion, like, it's still happening.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's just gonna manifest in a crazier way.
Exactly, which is why I feel like, and 2, why, yes, sometimes the way that Pisceans energy manifests when they are very emotional or upset can be very, like, overwhelming at times. You know, it's like, oh shit, like, I didn't know you were feeling all of these things, and now you're, like, pouring out to me how you felt, and it's like, oh shit, I wasn't aware, because you weren't releasing it a little bit, like how Cancer does at times. You know what I mean? Like, they're not as, I don't want to say they're not forward with their emotions, because they are. Yeah. But they're more elusive with them.
Are you talking about Pisces?
Yes, Pisces. Yeah, I compared to Cancer.
I agree. I think Pisces has this, like, energy of, well, if I don't look at it, it's not real. Yeah. You know? Yeah. They're really good at blurring the lines between reality and fantasy. Yeah. You know? Whereas Cancer, they can pinpoint exactly what they feel, and they have no problem telling you why they feel what they feel. Oh, yeah. You know? Where I feel like for Pisces, it's actually difficult for them to verbally express why they feel what they're feeling. And their feelings might be completely valid, but because they have a hard time expressing that, it makes them lost in those feelings for a longer period of time. Whereas Cancer, like, and let me give credit where it's due. Cancer is crazy when it comes to their emotions.
Oh, yeah.
But at least they stand on business and they tell you, this is why. This is why I'm acting up.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah. No, for sure.
Both can be a little bit in that victim mindset, though. Of, like, this is happening to me. Like, I'm acting this way because you did this to me.
Right.
And I think when you're super emotional, it's hard for you to view things as they are.
Yeah.
And I think that's why both of them can be very, like, the victimization of it all can affect them heavily. Yes. Because once they start feeling a feeling, logic is out the window.
Oh, 100%. It can be hard for them to sometimes take accountability.
Sometimes.
For their feelings, for how they make other people feel once they've blown up too. You know. Yes, there are lots of emotions with Cancer and with Pisces. Yeah. I like Cancer's energy. Growing up, I had a really hard time with it. Yeah. But now I respect it a little bit more, kind of like we were saying in our last podcast, because I know where I stand with them a little bit more. I love Pisces energy, but it is hard for me sometimes. I'm like, how do you feel? Like, tell me. And they're like, I don't know.
Yeah.
You know?
It's hard for them to, again, explain it.
Yes.
It's a lot sometimes, but I get it. I get it. As a water sign, I get it. Okay, third we have Libra, is a ball of raw emotions. For Libra to be third is very interesting.
High.
It's kind of
a little high.
It's quite high.
Like, I get it.
Libra is baby, like very sensitive. But I feel like when it comes to certain things is when they're emotional. They're not just emotional people.
Right.
Like when there's disbalance or they feel like something is unjust or unfair.
Totally.
Like those things really make them emotional. But I for them to be number 3 on this list,
too high.
It doesn't hit for me.
It's not hitting
I could
for
see
me
them being like 5.
Yeah.
Or
I was
4.
thinking like maybe even a 5 or a 6. Like I feel like they're really in the middle of the pack.
Yeah.
When it comes to.
Yeah.
Because too, like when you think about, yes, they get lost in their emotions, but they always try and be very chill and like diplomatic, I feel like, when they are maybe feeling kind of even crazy sometimes, you know what I mean? Like they're not going to express
better than
themselves.
The average.
Yeah.
Even when they're not okay.
Exactly.
They're keeping it together.
Yes.
More than some of these fire signs. They're at the bottom of the list.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I just have to say.
Yeah.
I think it's funny that all the fire signs are at the bottom of this
I know.
list.
Doesn't make any sense to me. They should be. Okay. We should be higher.
Yeah, definitely. Because even just coming to Gemini, which is number 4, are defensive people. Again, Gemini, I could see because they go back and forth. The twins, you don't know which one you're gonna get.
Yeah.
But emotional, no.
I actually think they're more towards the bottom.
Yeah,
Gemini.
Same. I think Gemini should be like. Gemini should be like. I feel like what 9, 10. Like,
yeah.
Like it's about. For them, it's like, is this a fight I want to partake in?
Right.
It's not like they're just emotional people all the time. It depends on what it is that they're feeling passionate about.
Right.
They can get hyper fixated on an emotion.
Totally. And
because, again, they're doing that thing where they're not thinking about the emotion. They're intellectualizing it.
Exactly.
Like, as a Gemini moon, I can say.
Exactly. And I feel like, too, like, just in general, I think, yes, Geminis can overanalyze their emotions so much that it doesn't even feel like an emotion to them anymore after a while. Yeah. You know, so like they like to play and make fun of you and stuff, but that's not necessarily like them feeling really emotional about something. All the Geminis I know actually aren't super emotional like that.
They're not. It needs to be something that someone close to them is forcing them to talk about.
Yeah.
And then maybe it'll reach a point of like, damn, I, a Gemini, or I, a Libra, maybe you're right. Maybe this is something that's bothering me.
Right.
They kind of need to be led towards that path of like, this is bothering me.
Right.
They're almost always going to assume that it's fine. Libra and Gemini.
Yeah.
Because they genuinely want it to be. They're social creatures. They want to get along with people.
Yeah.
They need that socialization. And if they're having an emotional moment, they cannot socialize.
Right.
So they'd rather not be emotional. You know, to them it seems like a waste of time.
Yeah.
And something that they can overcome, even though being emotional is very much like a human experience.
Totally. I feel like they like to keep it light.
Yeah, they do.
You know?
They do until they can't.
Yeah, exactly.
And they have a high tolerance for bullshit.
Yes.
because they experience so many different personalities all the time, they're able to get through shit quicker than the average person. They don't get offended easily.
Yeah.
And I think that has something to do with how emotional you are. If you're someone who gets offended easily,
yes,
you're probably more emotional.
Yeah. Agreed. Gemini just doesn't. They're like,
they don't care.
I don't care.
For Libra, usually you don't give a fuck unless it's that one thing that they're really into.
Right.
You know?
Agreed.
What do you guys think? Comment for all of these.
Yes.
Where you think they should be on the list.
Yeah.
Because this is interesting. So we have Virgo as number 5. Is highly observant. Virgo, I feel like, should be at the bottom of the list.
I also want them at the bottom.
Yeah, like Virgo should be like 11 or 12. Like,
yeah.
It should really be like, I'm thinking at the bottom really should be, it should be Capricorn, Virgo, and Aquarius.
Yeah. 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 Same. I would think, yeah, my bottom 4 would be Capricorn, like, who would I put at the very bottom, actually, now when I really think
the one who really
it?
Doesn't give a fuck to me is for me, it's 12. I think it's Aquarius.
Yeah.
I think Aquarius should stay at the last one. Because they can isolate themselves out of, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're always good at, like, being an observer and being like, this doesn't affect me. This has nothing to do with me. I'm going to remove myself from being offended.
Yeah.
Because this doesn't apply to me.
Yeah. For sure. I see that. I don't know why I'm struggling, though. I kind of want to put Virgo at the bottom. Even more over Aquarius.
All right, state your points. Why? I'm not saying you're wrong.
There's, it mixes, because sometimes obviously there are Virgos who care a lot.
Yeah.
But that doesn't necessarily mean that I feel you're emotional about.
Yeah.
Things. I think, and even when they're getting criticism, yes, they're hurt, but like, is it gonna fuck up your whole day? And I guess what I'm really also trying to say is, like, I feel Aquarius would maybe feel the emotion quicker than Virgo.
Yeah.
And Virgo is more, how do I say, like, because obviously Aquarius is taking their time to watch over their emotions too, but I feel like Virgo is less likely to feel it.
Yeah. No,
that's just my own perception too.
I understand what you mean. The only reason I'm putting Virgo above Aquarius is that because I feel like Virgos get offended easily and they personalize things. Like, when something happens where they're uncomfortable with, they can get emotional. Whereas for Aquarius, they don't even allow themselves to get offended, because to them it gives their power away.
Yeah.
But for Virgo, they get embarrassed easily when someone calls them out on something.
Yeah.
And they kind of give their power away when they get offended. And I feel like Virgos get offended easily. And Aquariuses have that God complex as well. But I genuinely feel like because they're able to disassociate really easily, better than any of these signs.
Yeah.
They get out before the water even gets too hot. You know what I mean? They're like, oh, it's getting a little weird. Now I'm going to go into my I don't give a fuck attitude. Whereas for Virgo, you just need to kind of hit them where it hurts, and then they start spiraling.
Yeah. No,
But I get what you meant too.
It's hard, because I think it obviously
they're battling
depends.
for that 12th spot.
Yes, they are. I want to know who you think should be in that 12th spot.
Who's at the bottom?
You know?
Because I don't think Virgo's number 5.
Okay, can I say Aries needs to be like...
Yo, why is... I'm sorry.
Like 3rd.
I have to be honest. Why is Leo, Sagittarius, Aries in the 9th, 10th, 11th? A fucking unhinged fire placement made this list.
Actually.
Like, you do not see yourself.
No.
Like, actually, they should be number... I'm not even gonna lie, I'm sorry. Some of these fire signs need to be above Scorpio.
Yeah. No, I feel
because
that.
You can't control yourself.
I feel that. I would say my top 5 is Pisces, Cancer, Aries, Scorpio.
Exactly. I agree with that. I think 5 should be Leo.
Yeah.
And then 6 could be Sagittarius.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I think Taurus should be like number 9. Like, Taurus should be lower on the list.
I think so,
I think 12 should be Aquarius. 11 should be Virgo. And then 10 should be... Oh, it's hard with Taurus and Capricorn, but they're right next to each other either way. But do I think it's Taurus that's more emotional, or Capricorn? I think it's Taurus. Because when it hurts for them, like, you know what I mean? Even though they won't admit it, Capricorn is cold, baby.
Oh, yeah. No.
So I think, 9 is Capricorn. Wait, what did I say? 12 is Aquarius, 11 is Virgo, 10 is Capricorn, 9 is Taurus. What's 8? Oh, 8 can be Gemini.
Yeah.
And then 7 can be Libra. And then 6, what did we decide? Is Leo? Oh, no. 6 is Sagittarius.
Okay.
Yeah, 6 is Sagittarius. And then 5 is Leo. And 4 is Scorpio.
Yeah.
And 2 is Aries. Or 3 is Aries. And then 2 is Cancer. And then 1 is Pisces.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
I think so too.
That's my list.
So too.
But we can go through them more.
I feel like I want to put the Mercurials. I don't know why. There's something about Mercurial energy now that I'm thinking it out that feels very like isn't as emotion driven.
Well, Mercury is the mind. It wants to be logical. It wants to understand.
Yeah.
Emotions are not something to be understood. It's something to be felt.
Right.
And they have a hard time grasping that concept.
Yeah.
Virgo is observing said emotion, but that doesn't mean they're going to act on that emotion. If anything, their mind is screaming at them, cool, we figured out what emotion. Don't act on it. Don't act on it. Like, you know what I mean? Don't tell people you feel this. It's a weakness. It's a disease.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
And so Scorpio's number 6 in the middle, which is first of all, I have to say this. A Scorpio should never be in the middle of anything. In any list.
It's just weird.
You guys.
It's weird. They're going to be at the top or the
literally, either we love something or we hate it.
Extreme.
We can't, no.
This is weird.
There are certain signs that need to be in the middle. Scorpio's not one of them.
Scorpios are touchy is what it says.
Scorpios are touchy, girl. You ain't never touched a Scorpio. That's what you think.
They are extremely touchy, and therefore they should be higher on the list.
Yeah. Some will probably say some of these Aries are like, what you mean Aries is before Scorpio? But, I genuinely do believe that. You guys are harder to manage emotionally.
Oh, my God. Yeah.
And there's toxic Scorpios everywhere, yes. But we do it in the comfort of our own
I also feel Aries is more impulsive than Scorpio.
True, which makes you more emotional.
Exactly.
Yeah, I agree. Don't get me wrong, a Scorpio is going to be in the deep depths of hell, feeling all the negative feelings, all the highs and lows of life, but we don't express those things often.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. Keep it very deep down
ruled
inside.
By Pluto, the underworld. It's brewing underneath it.
Yeah.
We're not leading with that. Also, if we lead with that, we're showing you our cards.
Right.
And that's a dangerous game within itself.
Right.
We don't share our emotions with everyone. Because it tells a lot about you. And we don't like that.
It's very common for Aries to lead with everything. You know what I mean? They put their best foot forward, especially when they're meeting people for the first time or lovers. I actually love that about them. But for some people, it's you're showing me everything. What is left to be
why buy the
desire
cow if you got
that's
the
not
milk
really
for
it.
free?
Yeah, but you know what I mean?
I hate that saying, but yes, I totally know what you mean.
Yeah.
A Scorpio just also is very private with their feelings because they don't want to be judged by said feelings. There is, I think, a beauty in these signs that are at the top. The fact that you're able, it's courageous for you to be able to share your feelings.
Right.
A Scorpio sometimes feel like their feelings are what can be used against them. So, sometimes you should be sharing your feelings, Scorpio. But you know what I mean? And signs that are on the bottom of the list. Both can learn from each other. Share your feelings more if you're at the bottom of the list. If you're at the top of the list, keep some shit to yourself, please.
Right.
Okay, how do we feel about... Yeah, so we said Taurus needs to be a little bit lower.
Yeah, I feel like Taurus and Capricorn need to be a little bit lower.
Yeah, they do. They genuinely, again, are not comfortable. All the earth signs.
Yeah.
I mean, it makes sense why we're putting most of the
water and fire at the top.
Because it's water signs are going to be emotional. Fire signs are going to be passionate.
Right.
You know, they're very spiritual. They want everyone to, see the energy that they're working with. They lead with their energy, fire signs. And then air and earth, I think they take pride in being able to control and maintain and put a lid on their emotions.
Yeah.
Because they're able to make more logical decisions.
Yeah. No, I 100% agree with you. I feel like when I think of Taurus, I think of them as lovers.
Yeah.
And I do think that they would get emotional about things that they love and obviously really care about. They are a fixed sign themselves, so they get obsessed with things. So I feel like I like that they're kind of here in this middle
low
7 to 9 area.
Yeah.
Capricorn too, because even though they have a very cold exterior at times, I think they're actually really hard on themselves, and that takes some reflection and emotion and knowledge of yourself. Yeah. So that's why I actually like them. Yeah. Right in that area too, like in the middle of the pack, because I think it's there, but they also know how to shut it off and be like, you're not going to use this against me. Yeah. You know? And I think that's something about Capricorn especially, is like they don't want their emotions to be used against them. I feel like Scorpio too, Aries too, but they move in different ways where like that doesn't necessarily happen as much for them, if that makes sense.
Agreed. I feel like with Capricorn, they feel like it's not productive to be moving in life with your emotions taking the lead, like very much the opposite of their sister sign Cancer. You know what I mean? Yes. Like they just feel like they won't earn that respect that is needed of them if they were to share that soft side, which I, as a Capricorn rising, understand. Like there's certain people in my life that need to see my feelings, and in certain relationships, why would I show you my feelings? Like that's not what we're dealing with here. Yeah. So it's I feel like to them it's about a respect thing. Like they want to be genuinely, they want to move through life with people respecting them. Mm-hmm. And a lot of times we've been taught that if you get too emotional, like, people won't respect you. Yeah. You know, and for Taurus, I feel like they want to ride the wave of like feeling a steady emotion. Yeah. They like to feel good things. Mm-hmm. They're Venus ruled. Mm-hmm. But they don't allow themselves to get too high and too low, because that's scary. They want to feel it's like fixed earth, you know? They want to be in control. Mm-hmm. They're very controlling. They want to be in control. They don't want to do things that might make them feel more emotional. Yeah. You know, that's why they like their routine. Taurus likes to do things that they know. They like to be in places that they know, because nothing then has the ability to affect them. Yeah. For them to be feeling the highs and lows of life. You know?
Yeah. They like to operate in like a chill
zone
and frequency, and they don't like to operate any space out of that. Yeah. And they get very stubborn, kind of crazy sometimes when you ask them to get out of those zones. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I feel like maybe they don't shy away from their emotions as much, but similarly, I feel like they like to keep things under wraps. Yeah. For the most part. And I don't know if it's like a strength thing as much for them too. But yeah, now that I think about it, I'm not really sure why they like to. I mean, they're just private.
Yeah, and they're the bull. Like, they keep their energy for what's needed. Yeah. You know, like, genuinely. Again, they want to feel comfortable. They want to feel the happy emotions. Yeah. They do. They're Venus ruled. Yeah. They just want to feel cozy, comfy, safe. Mm-hmm. And if an erratic emotion is coming up, they know something's wrong. Like, this isn't their normal. Yeah. You know, this isn't like the signs at the top of the list. Like, they're gonna feel like, oh my god, something is going crazy wrong in my life. Yeah. For me to feel this emotion that I try not to feel. Yeah. You know, whereas for other signs, it's like the highs and lows, every emotion, every day. That's life. For Taurus, it's like, no, I usually feel this emotion. So when I'm having an off day and I'm feeling this emotion, like, something's wrong. Yeah. You know?
For sure.
And they're hard on themselves. Yeah. Earth signs just are really hard on themselves when they feel extreme feelings.
Yeah. And I think too, like you're saying, because they are so used to their routines, they're like, well, what the fuck is wrong then? Yeah. Is it my routine? Like, I'm sure they start super like psychoanalyzing, like, oh, what is it? Yeah. Because this has been making me happy for the past 10 years. Literally. And now I'm not happy anymore.
It throws them off because, like, the equation that would work for 20 years, right? Like, something's up. Something's not working anymore. Exactly. And that throws them off balance. Yeah. You know? Mm-hmm. They need to feel that good energy. The Venusians, Libra and Taurus, like, they're just always searching for that balance. Yeah. And the beauty of life. So when negative emotions come into play, they genuinely feel like they're being punished. Yeah. Even though negative emotions are a very natural part of life. Mm-hmm. Like, you wouldn't have the positive without the negative. Mm-hmm. But they're always running from the negative. Yeah.
Interesting. No, I so agree. I'm just thinking about their Venusian energy and how both of them, I feel like they try and present very calm for as long as possible.
I mean, yeah, they do. Venus don't like ugly.
No,
it really does
so
not.
True.
Tries to stay away for as long as possible.
Yeah, I mean, I get it.
Yeah, I feel it.
Yeah.
I mean, I sometimes don't, but I get it as a Martian heavy girl.
Right. You're like, bring on the fight.
Yeah, that's how you show you care.
Right.
Okay, so let's go into 9 and 10 on this list, which is Leo and Sagittarius.
Yes.
Leo are all or nothing. Sagittarius isn't very sensitive. Okay, so we decided that, yeah, Leo and Sagittarius are going to be like, is going to be number 5 and 6, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Which I feel like the fire signs just need to be a little bit higher. Like,
I think so.
I think Leo is very passionate. You'll know if Leo is happy or not.
Yeah.
Because when they're happy, they are like the sun. They're beaming everywhere. They're re-energizing any room, any crowd, any group that they're with. Mm-hmm. And when Leo's not in a good mood, they're sucking the energy dry. It feels cold. There is like tension in the room.
Yes.
You know?
Agreed.
So I think Leos can be very emotional.
Oh, definitely. I think sometimes Leo's energy can feel very childlike in the sense of like, if they're not getting the attention they need or they're not getting something they need, they're gonna throw a fit and let everybody know that they're not happy with this. To me, that's being very emotional. You don't get what you want one time and you're gonna throw a fit. Like, I feel like that is sometimes quintessential like Leo energy. Like throwing a fit because everything isn't going like perfectly for you. And they're such passionate people, and I feel like they are such creatives that they get really upset when people also don't think that they're having like the best ideas or like what they're suggesting is the thing that you should do. Yeah. And they take great offense to that. Like, Leos have big egos. Yeah, obviously. They do. And I feel like when you have a large ego, you tend to be more emotional.
Yeah. I agree. I feel like Leos genuinely get upset when people around them don't take them seriously, which is, I feel like everyone, but some people just don't care. I think Leo is at the top of that list. They care. Yeah. They want to be perceived as someone that is cool and someone that has the best ideas. Yeah. And you know what I mean? And I feel like when they're having an off day, they're almost embarrassed to be having an off day around people. And like, that's when they get really emotional. Like, I feel like when they're having a good day, they're such social creatures and they do empower a room. But when they're having an off day and they're emotional and they can't manage their emotions, they can be very snarky and a little bit bitchy or like a dick, kind of like trying to put you down to make themselves feel better. Yeah. You know?
Definitely.
It's when that ego comes into play. I'm like, I don't feel good right now, so I'm not in the mood to be hyping you up. What I am in the mood is to humble you. Yes. I'm in the mood to humble you.
No, honestly, I feel like sometimes, too, I think their energy can feel a little, like, strong, almost like they're bullying you, you know what I mean? And when I think of that energy, I think of somebody, who's emotional, who's trying to kind of push me to feel a certain type of way. And the people at the bottom of the list, they don't give a fuck. They're not trying to push you to feel some type of way, you know?
It's so true. And, like, I'm kind of glad that, like, we're putting Scorpio and Leo next to each other at the top. Yeah. Because both, I feel like I could say that the same thing for Scorpio. Like, super emotional, but, like, you see the craziest sides of Scorpio's emotions when they feel like there's a disbalance in the power dynamic. Yes. And same thing could be said about Leo. Like, it's all cool here. I'm contained. I'm controlled. Until somebody wants to fucking whip their dick out and have a measuring contest, then I'm fucking ready to go. Like, it's on 10. Any control I had over my emotions is straight out the window. Right. Like, I can really keep my cards close to my chest until somebody wants to tell me that they're better than me or that they can tell me what to do. And I feel like both Scorpio and Leo, like, because they're such, like, powerful, traditionally some powerful signs. Emotions are very hard to control when any sort of, like, competitive energy comes into play. Yeah. It's like, you want to go? Same with Aries.
3 of them I feel like have very similar energy in that sense. They're like, you want to fucking go? I'll show you who's the best.
No, literally. Oh, you got the wrong one. You know? The mystery is out the fucking window. Right. As a Scorpio, I'm like, I'm done being the fucking mysterious one. I'll show you crazy.
I have no problem being the loudest, craziest, most obnoxious person ever.
Here. to show you.
Because now,
and then there's Leo that's like, oh, I've been waiting to show off and show out.
Right.
I've been waiting for someone to fucking duel me. Come on. Right. Anybody want to fight? Right. Scorpio's like, yeah.
It's like, I'll take you up on that offer. Aries is over there swinging.
Aries zips down their jacket. It's actually a fucking uniform underneath it.
Right.
Yeah, that's them.
Born ready to fight.
Right. Okay, so next we decided Sag is going to be in the middle, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. The Sag is very sensitive. Yeah, I feel like perfect place for Sag.
Yeah.
It depends on the day. It depends on the mood.
Totally.
Like, again, Sag is riding that wave of, like, faux positivity versus real positivity. And I feel like if they're having those days where they want to be, like, they're really pushing it, they're not having a good day, but they're, like, lying to themselves about how good of a day they're having, that's when it, like, they just go crazy and they start going off on things that, like, you have no fight in this.
No, it's so
But
true.
they're not admitting to themselves what they're actually upset about.
Yeah.
But they want to be like a fucking, like a keyboard warrior, or, like, you know what I mean? Like a social justice warrior towards something that, like, okay, like, what's really going on?
Like, you have a lot of energy for this today.
Yeah.
When normally your energy
when
is,
normally
I don't
you're
give
the
a
devil's
fuck.
advocate, you know?
Like, what? What?
That's how you know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, I agree. I feel like us Sages aren't. I mean, well, here's the thing. It varies. Like you said, like, we can be very unemotional, but then, too, we do get our feelings hurt.
Oh, yeah.
You know? Don't make too big of a kiki ha-ha about me. Like, don't make me the butt of your joke. I'm gonna get upset.
No, for sure.
You know?
I always like to say, Sages are, to me, the definition of can dish it but can't take it.
Yeah.
Like, they will read you to filth. They will aggressively say some truth, probably, about you.
Yeah.
But if you at all try to flip the table, they're gonna fucking go off on you.
Yeah.
You know, they don't like to be Sag, Virgo, Aquarius. They don't like to be told about themselves. Because who the fuck asked you?
Yeah. No, honestly.
You know?
Genuinely. It's like, I was joking. Now this is getting personal.
It seems like it's something you've been feeling for a while.
Right. And now I'm upset.
No. I thought we were just having a moment where we were sharing our honest truth. I didn't realize you were going to disrespect the fuck out of me.
And now you're public enemy number one.
No, literally.
Like, Sag will turn it on.
No. Well, I feel like for Sag, like, when that happens, they're going to be like, now I know I can never feel comfortable around you to be my joyous, happy, positive self. I have to be fighting a war every time I'm with you. I have to change myself.
Right.
And be on the defense when you're around instead of being my jolly, happy self. Because you decided to get too serious on me.
Right. You can't take a joke.
No, literally. Har, funny. Like, laugh a little. Like, we didn't have to go bar for bar on reading each other.
Right.
This was about me fucking exposing you.
Right. You did not have to flip it back. This wasn't supposed to be
this
a
wasn't
mirroring
a mirror
moment.
You know, I'm the only one that comes in the
Right.
Don't take my mirror.
Like, oh no, we don't.
You know I haven't seen myself in a minute.
We don't.
That's toxic Sag energy.
No, it's true though. Yeah. Yeah, we can very much be that way.
Yeah, it's true.
I think the mutables, like, in general, sometimes, like, not sometimes, we're more likely to run from our emotions.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, absolutely. It's fleeting. Like, you know what I mean? Like, in order to feel a feeling, you have to sit with it long enough to feel it.
Right.
And mutables are constantly taking in various stimuli around them, and their moods are changing depending on that. So it's hard to stay grounded enough to feel something. Yeah. It's harder than it would be for, you know, a fixed sign.
For sure.
You know?
That's true.
Which can be a positive and a negative depending on the day. Because sometimes it's good to keep it pushing. Because some feelings are just useless. Yeah. Like, you could think about this all you want. Yeah. But it's preventing you from moving forward in life. Yes. You know?
Yes. There's no need to continue to harm yourself with the emotion. Yeah. Some of the other signs can learn to let go a little bit. So, yeah, no, I totally get it. It all depends.
Yep. There you go. And then, as we talked about, 11 on this list is Aries. We already decided Aries is going to the top. Come on. We already said our reasons. Aries, come on. It said Aries, what are feelings? Come on. Like, watch the fucking movie Inside Out. Anger, that's Aries.
Right. Aries has all the feelings.
Yeah.
And they shout them.
And, you guys, they're the first sign of the Zodiac. They're the baby. They're the one that is always expressing feelings at the very early stages of feeling it. Like, they're not even at all having, like, a 3-second moment where they're processing the feeling they're feeling. As soon as it comes in, they're sharing it with the world. Mm-hmm. Yeah, some call it courageous. Other people call it scary.
Right, other people call it scary. We would
not
call
me.
it
I like it.
emotional.
As a Scorpio, I'm like, yes, give it to me straight. Right. No chaser.
Again, leading with emotion, similar to Cancer. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, you know how they feel. It's like, here it is.
Yeah. No, seriously. You know where you stand, dude.
Whether that be negative or positive.
You do. Yeah, it's true. And if they're yelling at you, if you don't like being yelled at, great. You should not be talking to them ever again. Because to them, like, sometimes, I mean, obviously there's people who are toxic and they're always yelling at people. But a lot of times Aquarius's yelling is because they're passionate. Don't always think that they're yelling at you. But clearly there's people who are just trying to yell at you. And do not be around people like that. But a lot of times that's just how Aries communicates. Yeah,
I would say even...
They're a yeller.
100%. Even fire signs. You know, you get on me sometimes, too. You're like, Maya, you're yelling at me right now. I'm like, I'm just speaking passionately.
Yeah, no, and I get it. Like, it's just not directed at you always.
Yes.
Like, this is how they're sharing their truth.
Yes.
You know?
And it does come across as yelling. And in some ways, I am yelling, but not at you.
I'm yelling because this is making me feel so many things.
Yes.
And if I were to say it calmly, maybe you wouldn't understand the gravity of what I feel.
You wouldn't.
Yeah, I get it.
Because you don't gotta tell me twice. People are like being all calm and shit,
they don't care.
They don't be taking you seriously.
No, they don't.
Speaking from experience.
No, I mean, whoever made that quote, don't mistake my kindness for weakness. I do. I mistake your kindness for weakness.
She's like, yell at them.
Yeah, do something. Like,
show me how you feel.
Yeah, like, I just genuinely, I mean, I always believe, like, when someone, like, I'm not, like, I didn't get my fucking doctorates in bullying, but I think that, like, if someone is fucking yelling, if a bully's being a bully, I genuinely believe kindness is not what's gonna fucking help you.
Right.
You need to let them know you're not the one. You know what I mean? Yell back.
You're not gonna be like, actually, Mr. Bully, I'm so sorry, but can you please stop bullying me?
No, literally.
Mr. Bully, please.
I just feel like it's unfair of you to talk to me that way, and I don't appreciate it.
Like, they don't give a fuck.
Like, I don't give a fuck what you think.
Yeah. No, seriously.
No, yeah. For sure, I get
it. I'm an advocate for kindness, obviously. But sometimes people just need to know.
No, actually, sometimes you gotta let people know.
I'm all for having moments where you show people what you're made of.
Yeah.
Just so they remember.
Uh-huh.
And then you act cool, calm, aloof.
Right.
But they always need to know what you have in the depths of you.
Yes.
You know? What you can come out with when you're activated.
Yes. Yes. And all of these signs, honestly, when they get activated, they can be very scary in their own ways. Yeah, you know what I mean?
Everyone shows it differently.
Right. Even the people who are like least emotional, sometimes they're even scarier when they decide to show that emotion.
I'm sorry. Scary as fuck. Okay? Scary as fuck. Because you're not expecting it. You're not.
Right.
You're not.
Like, oh my god, where did that come from?
No. Or they just drop your ass. How about that? Sometimes you want people that get emotional because you can actually have a push and pull with them and convince them to be back with you.
Right.
Whereas some of these at the end, at the bottom of the list,
it's just done.
It's done. They're not going to share their feelings with you, so you understand. They're going to look at you and be like, not my problem. And you're going to be like, what? I'm used to fighting with people. They're going to be like, I don't do that.
Right. Oh my god, there's nothing more of like a cock block kind
I know.
Of where you're like, I'm ready for a fight, and they're like, no.
They're like, I don't do that. Oh, that shit hurts. I'm like, oh, interesting.
It's like being like stiff-armed.
No, seriously, seriously. Like... Oh my god. I have definitely had moments like that. Not on the side of where I'm being crazy and I'm not getting anything back and I feel psycho. And I have definitely doubled down on the crazy, and I was not, I wasn't spoken to ever again. That was the end of that. It really confused me. I'm like, wow, people don't fight?
Oh, interesting. Too far.
I'm like, wow. So that's what got you. Okay.
Noted.
Got it.
No,
I'm
actually,
crying.
no.
Yeah.
I feel like I was saying that the other day. I was like, the greatest thing
Yeah.
is you not being able to have access to me anymore.
No, it's
like,
so true. It's so true.
I feel like that's the biggest fuck you.
No, it really is. It really is. I personally like to go
like
out with a bang.
I like a good yell, too.
Yeah.
It just depends on the situation.
You know me. I like a good read.
Yeah.
Before I exit.
Yeah. You do.
I've sent Maya a text before where I'm like, I'm going to say this. She's like,
wow.
Yeah. I just feel like, why should I not put the gifts that I have been given, such as my Libra Mercury, into good use? Yeah. When I know the relationship is done, let's just end it with a bang. There's no coming back, right? Okay. Look at me in that. No, okay. Time for me to read you.
This is so done.
This is what I've been waiting to say this whole time. I've kept it cute for as long as I can.
Yo. Scary stuff. The Scorpio reads. Okay, who do you think has the scariest reads from this list?
Cancer. No question about it.
Oh, yeah.
The way they hit below the belt, exactly where it hurts. That's in my punani, like, deep in my core.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, wow.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that, like, that you had it in you.
Yeah. Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Because there's such sensitive, soft people. So when a Cancer reads you, it's very scary. I feel like another read is the Virgo read. That also scares me because it's very factual and calm when it's delivered.
Yeah.
And it's what I want to do is reply to it in an emotional, rage-filled way.
Yeah.
But again, I get cock-blocked because I'm like, no, they don't take me seriously when I do that. So I need to give back the same energy.
Yeah.
And that's very hard for me to do. I think, when I'm angry, obviously.
Yeah, totally.
I'm just like, okay, simmer down. You need to do a read. You can't cuss them out. You can't cuss them out. You have to do a read. No cuss words allowed.
You have to be just as observant.
Yeah, exactly.
And you guys are, so.
Yeah, it's, oof.
It can be just as.
What do you think?
Vicious.
Who have the.
Well.
I mean, Scorpio's there too, let's be fucking honest. I don't know why.
Scorpio's definitely on my
honestly,
list.
Whenever any questions asked for me, just don't. You know I'm a Scorpio, so I'm probably giving us a pass.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard not to.
Right. No.
If I'm not an advocate for my own sign, who will be?
No, it's true.
I'm self-aware enough to know that I do that.
Yeah. No, that's good. No, but Scorpio reads are nasty. Because they are kind of similar to Cancer in the sense that you've opened up to them in like deep, profound ways, and you've shared things that you probably haven't shared with others, and they made you feel safe, and now they're like throwing it back in your face.
Yeah, that's scary.
I feel like I don't know why. In my experience, yes, Scorpios have maybe been more eloquent in the way that they've said it, and it being more hurtful.
Yeah.
But I will also say that Cancers have hurt me the most in
scary, you guys.
My life, and some of the things that they have said to me stick with me the longest.
Oh, for sure.
You know what I mean?
For sure.
So I really feel like both of them. Well, I don't even know if it's really a Cancer read. It's more like a Cancer blow up.
Yeah.
You know, like they just like get really pissed at you. It's and that's why maybe I feel like I said like Scorpios is more eloquent because they're like, well, I think this, and the third about you, and I've been thinking this. You know, kind of similar to Virgo in that sense.
Yeah.
And yeah, Virgo hurts because
that calm read, it just hits different. You've been brewing.
Yeah, and you've been thinking about this for a long time. Like, you mentioned stuff from when we first met and how that bugged you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
totally.
It's another it's another level. I feel like I also have to say one of my other cold ones is like either like an Aquarius or a Capricorn. Just like how they're able to ice you as they do it. Like the remove of emotion is kind of scary.
Yeah. Because there is no like connecting with them anymore. Like they're very much like there's a distance, but they created enough space where they can share how they feel with you.
Yeah.
But don't think we're close enough where I care about your response.
Right.
With some of the other signs, I feel like they want a little back and forth. It feels fun to have a little back and forth. Even Virgo, like they want that mercurial, like let's communicate about this.
Yes.
Let's be proactive about our debate. Whereas Capricorn and Aquarius, like, again, because they're usually a little bit colder, the fact that they've gotten to a point where they need to even share some shit about you, read you, they're really fed up that you even got them to this place.
Yeah, no.
Because usually they want to keep it, like, low-key. But now that they had to read you, that you had to see this part of them that cares a little.
Right.
This is the last time.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. And it digs in here.
It hurts.
And I just know, like, kind of like you're saying, like, I don't know, when a Scorpio's yelling at me, I still kind of know that they care, you know? Like,
for sure.
Otherwise, they wouldn't be fighting with me, you know?
No, genuinely.
But the fact that, I don't know, I feel like the Aquarius or the Capricorn's, like, taking the time, it's like, this is the last thing I'll ever say to you.
Yeah. No, literally.
And that's...
And you know that.
Yeah.
When you're on the receiving end of it, like, you know this is the last thing.
Yeah. It feels, like... big. Like, it feels like, oh shit, this is
the finale.
You know?
Like, is this play about us?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, you guys. We hope you enjoyed this list reaction.
Yes.
We love you so much. By the way, happy motherfucking Aries season.
Yeah.
Happy spring equinox. Happy Persian New Year's. All that good shit. Don't forget to comment with any of these that you agreed with.
Yes.
Which ones you didn't agree with.
To know.
We need to know all the details.
Yes.
If you're listening on Spotify, Apple, wherever, don't forget to leave us a review. And don't forget to come to the YouTube video to share your opinion.
Yes.
Because we love that shit.
We sure do.
We're going to see you guys next week.
Bye.
Bye.